Alright, the first ever father-son duo touching court together has finally happened, and it's just unfortunate the two couldn't get a single highlight. To be fair, Bronny got less than 3 minutes of burn, so he had a small window, and I think JJ just wanted to get this out the way so it doesn't become a distraction throughout the regular. But at least it gave Bron an extra boost of energy, and the Lakers' effort was one of the main aspects of their win. It showed on the O boards with all their perimeter crashes, then on the other end, it showed in their transition defense, and the rotations in the scramble were consistent all night. That effort, combined with their discipline on their defensive game plan, was the difference in the game, and a lot of it was Ant Davis doing what he does. He was hedging or up on screens whenever Ant Edwards was in the P&R in the first half, and then once they realized he was the only one rolling, they started either switching, blitzing, outright selling, or shading his angles to force the rock out of his hands. I still think he created some good looks for the others, but they couldn't convert enough, and overall, their offense just looked discombobulated. A lot of it was the Lakers' defense, but it was still either too stagnant or too rushed, and there were too many instances of players not spaced correctly or players not making the right reads. That's just a continuity issue, and that'll continue developing over the course of the regular, but it's still not an excuse for their defense. Every time they gave the rock up, they never got back, and then in the half court, there were too many instances of late rotations or players falling asleep. I can't believe one of the most consistent defensive teams looked way worse than one of the most inconsistent defensive teams, and this must just be the JJ effect. The Lakers look just as connected on offense, and I know he wants to incorporate more threes, but it still depends on how they're being generated. The quick pulls just for the sake of getting more up isn't how it should be, especially because this team dominates the paint, so more times than not, they should be using their paint pressure to open up sprayouts and play for lays into trays, not the other way around. They were a little too trigger happy early on, but once they got back to their DNA, they started to dominate the game, and there's a reason they're always up there for paint points. But for a first game, this was a very good sign for him moving forward, and if JJ can continue holding him accountable on both ends for the next 81, they've got a real chance of being a contender again. Just watch the tape.
Ahead for Reeves, and a perfect highlight. Defense to offense for LA.